touches, we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. Rolling after crushing, we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. You know this cause we saying we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. So you know the people love us, we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. They sense it's coming when we roll up. Show love, all my people show love. Smoke blunts with my boys, hit J's with a John. Hit bongs in the studio and stay making songs. I'm off in space, on 10 just to really hit vapes. I be hitting bombs all day, surf online. They be riding my wave, my wave, my wave. Stop invading my space, no decline. I be rising always, always, always. Like the smoke in my face, say it 3 times so you know that I blaze, I blaze, I blaze. We got touches, we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. You rolling after crushing, we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. You know this cause we saying we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. So you know the people love us, we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. Split it, mommy, rap it. Either one you ashin', split it backwards or Philly buzz a mallet. I light it up and pass it. I smoke so much I got low eyes. Half society ain't know why. They try to blame it on my sleepiness, but no, I'm so fried. And I'm burning, getting so high, no lie. I've been smoking, surfing, making music. I've been very patient, no wonder why I'm too sick. Bet you missed the only pun, cause you dumb and stupid. I be taking 2 rips and chief it. You know that Mary Jane, my weakness. If she was a chick, she would be getting my penis. Better know what I said and I mean it. Might steam it for a chick that I'm leaking. If she roll right and get on my leaves and I'm fucking her, I smoke and I'm leaving. Yup, I'm a bona fide even. Gone if I ain't boning that evening. I got green, I could blow if I need it. Or the purple if I know that I'm sleeping. We got pickles, we got touches, we got pounds of ground. Yeah, we got pounds of ground. You rolling after crushing, we got pounds of ground. Yeah.
Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome to whatever the hell this is. Live chat, summer betting preview, look ahead, whatever you want to call it. Didn't go live last week. Obviously was away for IFW. Wanted to give you guys a stream this week. We got no major MMA going on, nothing. I just feel like, fuck it. Let's chill. Let's hang out. Let's fucking talk about the fights, right? So we're going to start with UFC 317 because obviously I wasn't here for it. Normally I'm watching the fights with you guys, but obviously was away, was camping. If you didn't hear on MK, dude, it's like midnight, mile away to the general store, and they got fucking Wi-Fi there. And I'm like, yo, should I make the trek to the general store? I'm like, all right, no flashlight, saving my phone battery because I barely have any phone battery, so I can't use the flashlight on that. I'm like going through the woods, find my way there, can't figure out the fucking Wi-Fi. Thankfully, another camper was right there. I was like, dude, you got the Wi-Fi? He's like, yeah, bro, gotcha. Hit it. Round 3, Josh Van, Brandon Royval. Fucking sick fight. But I'm going, I don't even know who's winning this. How are we doing? Joe Rogan's like, this is anybody's fight. I mean, do I really trust Joe Rogan? No. But I was like, all right, I'll take his word for it. So I'm like, holy shit, this is anyone's fight. And then Royval gets dropped. And I'm like, no. All right. So I saw Royval lose in real time. I was disheartened. I said, fuck. I don't know about you guys, but like, if I'm not watching the fights live / if I miss the fights, I can't, like, I had to look. I went on MMAfighting.com, great website. And I was like, yo, let me check the results in this quick, see what's been happening on the rest of the card. Because obviously we were just before the co-main. So my cat scratches the shit over here. And I'm like looking at the rest of the card. I see fucking Peyton Talbott won. I see fucking Dariush won. And now Josh Van went. So I'm 0 for 3 on the main card. And I'm like, dude, this card blows. So that was kind of my like, all right, am I really going to stay here for the co-main when I'm having such a bad night already? I was like, fuck it. I went back to the campsite. I said, wasn't even going to be able to watch this shit anyway. Might as well just let it go. And then, we're driving home Sunday. And I'm like, all right, well, have no idea what happened in the co-main. Have no idea what happened in the main. There goes Ruby. I'm like, let me check it out. Check the co-main. Dude, I mean, I'll get into each fight, but I'm like watching the co-main. All right, whatever that ends, watch the main. And then I'm like, well, fuck, I looked up all the results to all the previous fights. So it's so hard to go back and watch when you know what happened. I don't know about you guys. So like a lot of the time I'm fast forwarding to the finishes, like Hobocop, Jack Hermansson. I went to the last minute of the round and I was like, all right, let me see what happened here. So that's how I watched it. So if you guys are like, bro, you missed the whole storyline of the fight. That guy was winning this. Just because he won that doesn't mean that, call me out on it. But otherwise, I'll give you at least the recap that I got so far. So obviously start with the main event, Ilya versus Charles. Okay. I'm not a hater, dude. I don't want to be a hater, but am I the only one who's like, I didn't think that win. I don't want to say I didn't think the win was impressive, but like, I didn't think it was that special the way everyone's fucking making it out to be. It was Charles Oliveira, and no disrespect to Do Bronx. He's the fucking man. But the dude's been knocked out going into that fight 4 times before. It's not like this is some crazy thing. He's got a chin that I know he like in his last, 5 fights, he gets rocked and he comes back. But like, we never lived in a world where like Charles Oliveira is some like granite chin. He just like could take a beating and come back. I feel like of all Ilya's, I'm going to call the last 3 wins, because everyone's talking, is this the greatest 3-fight win streak of all time? I think this is the worst of the 3. Like, sure, it was emphatic, it was in great fight, but so were the other 2. Knocking out Volk and knocking out Max are way more impressive than knocking out Charles. In fact, I think knocking out Max is probably the most impressive. Max had never been put out. Volk was coming off a KO loss. Like, I do think Volk's obviously the better fighter of the 3, the best of the 3 that he's beaten, but like, still feel like the Max win is pretty fucking better than this one. I feel like everyone is like, it's almost like Sean O'Malley beating Aljo, where everyone's like, whoa, he's the greatest ever. It's like, nah, dude, he just fucking like, I'm not comparing Aljo to Charles Oliveira, but like he kind of like lucked out with that one thing that happened, and now like we're overblowing it into something that it's not. Like, I don't know. Again, not trying to be a hater. I just feel like dude, Arman Saruki and Islam Makhachev, I would favor both of them. And when I say favor, I mean I would take them at plus money over Ilya, like especially Arman, bro. Arman would be plus money. Islam might be the favorite, and I would favor Islam in that fight. I don't know, dude. Like, what do you guys honestly think? Ilya, Islam? I know a lot. I was talking to like Luke and Brian about it, and like, I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure Luke favors Ilya, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a legit debate right now where I'm like, dude, what? Are we forgetting who Islam is? Like, also, like, the size difference in there was so apparent, and it obviously didn't really matter much, but like, that fight only lasted 2.5 minutes. If a fight lasts 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, is the size difference going to be a huge factor? I kind of think so. So that's my thoughts on the main event. I got to take a bong hit too, guys. I mean, you got to start the stream with a bong hit, Purposely waited for you guys too. It was like, oh, I won't wake and bake. I'll just wait for them. I'll wait till I'm live and I'll hit it then. So let me get it over with quick. Appreciate everyone for joining for this. I mean, dude, what is this? I don't know what this is. We're gonna call it a live chat. We're gonna call it a summer look ahead. I'm just gonna fucking talk. All right. Please like the stream if you don't already. Appreciate all 20 of you tuning in. Let's go. Oh yeah. All right. I see you guys commenting about it, so let's just get in on it. Marc-Antoine Dussault said, what up, Luke? I was also camping this weekend, but managed to catch most of the main card with McDonald's Wi-Fi. Some buffering for the first 2 fights, but no issues after that. That's dope, dude. Yeah, it was like, dude, we were like probably 5 miles out from the campsite, and I lost service. So I was like, fuck, we're not going to have shit this weekend. And I was right. And then Saturday, we went to a brewery, and they had Wi-Fi there. So I was like on my phone then. And then obviously I walked to that general store Saturday night, but I was like kind of content with like, all right, I'm missing it this weekend. I'll just and my girlfriend was totally cool about it. She's like, yo, I'll drive home so you could watch the fights on the way home. I was like, you're the best. I love you. So, I mean, it totally worked out in that sense. I avoided, like when you don't have service, I'm not going to like on autopilot, like open Instagram and start scrolling or something, you like kind of just open apps and start scrolling. Like, you can't do that when you don't have service. So you don't even even if you're trying to avoid spoilers, it's pretty avoidable without even really trying. K Goose says he always wanted a spiral staircase. funny enough, this apartment has a spiral staircase. I've lived here for 7 years, and the house I grew up in, my parents' house, have a spiral staircase too. So I've like always had a spiral staircase. I agree with Max being the toughest, and it's the one that he worked the most to win too. That's true. Because it lasted the longest, right? Yeah, dude. And like, we'll see how Max looks against Dustin in 2-3 weeks. And if he looks, I mean, it's against Dustin, who's retiring, a little hard to judge. But I'm just saying, if Max looks really fucking good again, we're all going to be like, oh shit. Like, Ilya's stock's going to go up even higher at that because you're sandwiching that between the Gaethje win and this presumable Dustin win. I mean, could be crazy. People out here disrespecting Islam. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's so recency biased with the pound for pound. It always is. Also, like, I mean, you guys already know I'm a big Merab guy, but like, the fact that people are putting Pantoja ahead of Merab, I'm like, whoa. And I think Pantoja had the best performance on this fucking card. I think he looked phenomenal. But I still think, like, put it this way, if him and Merab fight, whether it's 35 or 25, I don't even know if Merab could make 25, but let's just say he could. I'm favoring Merab in both of those fights. So, like, why are people you can't put Pantoja ahead of him. You guys might disagree with that, but I'm like, I don't like that. I think it's Islam 1, Ilya 2, Merab 3, Pantoja 4. Lazy said, Islam never leaves a fight unscathed. He's been put out before. If he stands for longer than 30 seconds around, I think Topuria puts him out cold. Can't believe I'm saying that. Damn, I can't believe you're saying that either. Hot take from Lazy Bad. Damn. Everyone always goes out to that. What is it? Adriano Moraes or whatever, or Adriano Martins, the dude who fucking knocked him out. I can't remember his name. It's Adriano something. Everyone, like, I also was an Islam, like, disbeliever on the way up, and I would always point to that fight. He's fighting like Thiago Moises, and I'm like, I don't know, guys. He's been knocked out before. Like, in hindsight, it was stupid to doubt him. But yeah, there's always that. It's like, anyone who, like, in their pro debut got knocked out, and then you look back at their record, they've gone on a 20-fight win streak, and you're like, I don't know, though. His chin, he's been knocked out before. It's hard to, like, forget these things, but I just feel like, I don't know. Like, we've really not seen Ilya's grappling tested either. And I know he's supposed to be like he's supposed to be really good on the ground, but like, and you could argue we have seen it tested, but you know what I mean? No one's really, like, I think Bryce took him down once, but no one's really, like, put him on his back and made him, like, work to get up and then put him on his back again. Like, Islam's going to do that. So I just wonder how Ilya holds up to something like that. Max was definitely the most impressive win. Just want to say I'm so thankful you're doing this type of show. I've been wanting to suggest it, but I figured you wouldn't have the time. Thank you, Sleeto. I mean, dude, I would always be down to do this, but it's funny. Even this week, I'm like trying to figure out what day I should do this. This is yesterday, and I'm like, oh, yo, Friday would be perfect. Friday afternoon. And then I remember it's fucking Independence Day here in the US, and I'm like, well, no one's going to fucking be on watching that, myself included. I'll probably be at the beach. So then I was like, oh, Thursday, but then I was like, fuck, we have MK Thursday. Luke normally does his live chat Thursday, so then I'd have to do it Thursday night. I got plans tomorrow night, so I'm like, fuck, that doesn't work. Then it became today. I was like, I could do the 11 a.m. spot, and then I'm like, BC's live chat is always changing time, so I literally texted BC yesterday, and I was like, dude, what time is your live chat? Because I don't want to overlap with him. Also, full disclosure, I got to be out of here by like 12:30, 12:45-ish. So I don't know how long this will go regardless. Maybe I'll run out of shit to say in 20 minutes. But max, we're going like 90 minutes. But yeah, so texted everyone to confirm. But I would love to do it, Sleeto, and I really do have the time for it because, like, my girlfriend's at work right now. If I did it like during the day, it literally affects no one. It's just I like to have, especially for like the YouTube algorithm, I like to have consistency. So I want to make sure, just like Luke does it, it's Thursday at 3. Like, that's Luke's live chat. Like, I'd like something like that where I have the same time slot every week. And I don't know like what that time slot would be, kind of thing. So until I figure that out, it won't be a regular thing, but I appreciate you saying that. Also, between the two of you, Joseph Hall and Sleeto, I owe one of you a beanie. I believe Joseph Hall won it and then deferred it to Sleeto because he already won before. But either way, but one of you needs to hit me up. I have a beanie for you. Joseph said, Ilya is impressive and deserves all the praise, but we all knew what was going to happen. It was a great win, but I have a hard time getting hyped for an outcome that was so predictable. Thank you, Joseph Hall. Thank you. It's literally what I said to Luke when he fucking walked in with his bone air. I was like, come on, dude. We all knew this was going to happen. Like, I didn't pick Charles. On Tapology, I picked fucking Ilya round 3 KO. Like, I knew Ilya was going to win by KO. I just didn't know when. And in hindsight, should we have realized he was going to do it in less time than fucking Volk and less time than Max? Yeah, we probably should have realized that. As someone who had an over 1.5 and was hoping that one bet would fucking hit on that card, by the way, did great on the prelims, just terrible on the main. I was like, yeah, I think it goes a little long, but you know, it was fucking stupid of us. I think Islam beats Topuria at 170. Yeah, dude, I think Topuria going to 170 is like, I forget who was saying it because I think it might have been MMA fighting, might have been Anik Florian. I was listening to someone yesterday and they were saying, it might have been Kenny Florian saying that Topuria does beat a few guys at once. Oh no, it was Ray Longo actually. Shout out to the fucking legend Ray Longo on Anik and Florian. And he was like, yo, I think Topuria could beat a few guys at 170, but as soon as you get up in like the top 5 at 170, like the size matters. And I'm like, yeah, like, okay, Ray knows his shit. I'm going to agree with that 100%. But when you say he could beat a few guys at 170, it's like, I don't even know if he, obviously anyone could beat anyone on any given night. You know, I'm not going to say he can't beat anyone at 170, but like, I'm not favoring him in a lot of these matchups. I do have the rankings up here. Let me pull them up. Just quick, top 10 of welterweight. Gilbert Burns. Okay, I'd favor Ilya. Colby Covington, I'd favor Ilya. That's more than I'm thinking right now. Michael Morales. I'd favor Ilya, but that's way more interesting. Joaquin Buckley, I'd favor Ilya, but that's way more interesting. I don't know. See, like Buckley's so big, and even Michael Morales, I'm like, these guys are huge. Then we get Ian Machado Gary, which I'm like I'm higher on Ian Gary than most people, I think, but I'm still like, fuck, I don't know. Usman is like kind of the same as what I think would happen with Islam. Like Usman could win that fight, dude. I know we don't want to hear that, but he could. Leon could beat Ilya, I think, size alone. Shavkat, yes. Sean Brady, yes. Bilal, probably. JDM. JDM would be fun, actually. JDM, Ilya. But yeah, all right. I guess I'm eating my own words here. Maybe he could beat a lot of guys at fucking 70. Sleeto said, I super chatted Luke Thomas and asked what he thought about your girlfriend keeping you from the fights this week, jokingly. And he said it wasn't even your girlfriend. You were with someone else. He had faulty info. No, I mean, I told Luke and Brian because FYI, that's the reason we did MK Thursday last week. They wanted to do it Friday, and Friday was really inconvenient for me because I was driving upstate. And I was like, yo, can we do it Thursday? And they all agreed to do it Thursday, thankfully. But no, I told Luke, Chuck, and Brian right when we ended pregame preview. I was like, yo, I can't even fucking watch the fights. And they were like, why? And I was like, going camping with I said my family. That's probably why he thought it was with other people. Because it was 12 of us. It was 4 kids and 8 adults. When I say kids, I'm talking like, you know, under the age of 14. And yeah, so I like vaguely, I told them I wasn't going to be live. I told them I was not even going to be able to watch the fights, but I didn't really like go into detail about who or what I was doing. What I sent a message, but it got filtered. Keep your eyes on X. Roofy versus Chandler announcement coming. Shanghai co-main? What? Why? Shanghai already has a dope co-main. Fucking Ortega Sterling. Why are they stacking Shanghai? That card, by the way, starts at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Main card, which means the prelims are going to start at like 4 a.m. That would be way. I do like that fight though. Roofy, whatever the fuck his name is, versus Michael Chandler. That's fun. That's a fun way to push Roofy up the rankings, or possibly get Chandler a bounce back. I doubted Roofy against fucking Bobby Green. I mean, you saw what happened there. Of all the pound-for-pound fighters, Ilya has KO'd 3 top 15 pound for pound, back to back to back. Yeah, that's pretty dope. That is pretty dope. Dave said, hey, you boomers. People forget, man. Yeah, Sleeto gets the beanie. Sleeto, you gotta hit me up. What do you think of the Gregory Rodrigues follow-up shot? So we'll get to it. I'll go down this card. But let me just finish up. Sean Brady would have an immediate tackle Ilya, but he could maul him on the ground. Make our minute. Who would you rather see, Arman Ilya or Paddy Ilya? Who would you have in each? And what about Paddy Arman? I'd rather see Arman Ilya. I would favor, again, not that I would favor, but I would take Arman at plus money against Ilya because he'd probably be a dog, even if it wasn't much. So I would take Arman against Ilya. And I think it's anyone's fight. Paddy versus Ilya, I'm way more like, that's probably the only fight I'm on the Ilya hype train about. I'm like, yeah, dude, Ilya all day. And that, I don't know how, he probably puts him out. Scousers don't get knocked out, but I feel like he probably would. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take Ilya against Paddy. And then Paddy Arman, I think I'd go Arman because that's kind of the same fight as Arman Charles. If anything, Paddy's probably worse than Charles. He might have like, I don't even want to say that. Because I think Charles has better stand-up than Paddy. So yeah, I'd favor Arman in both of those fights, betting-wise. And I'd favor Ilya over Paddy. Oh, damn, a live chat, I'm in. No clue why they're stocking Shanghai so hard, but I got it straight from Marcel. Damn. Weird, my message got filtered too, but I sent an email to me and Carminute last week. Wait, when you guys say your messages are getting filtered, what do you mean by that? Like it's just not, you type something and then it's not there? I don't know. Either way. All right, let's move on to the co-main event, which I was saying before, dude, easily the most impressive performance on this card, I think. And maybe that's because I was like, yo, I think KKF's a live dog. Like, and I just want it to be noted, by the way, that I have been like, unlike Luke and Brian, who were doubting Pantoja the last couple of fights, I was always like, yo, Pantoja's that guy. But I was finally like, ooh, KKF, big power puncher. Pantoja gets hit a lot over the age of 35. I'm like, I could see this being the downfall. So I kind of was doubting Pantoja. I didn't bet on him. By the way, someone fucking commented, they're like, bro, Long Island Luke needs to stick to his day job, which joke's on you. I don't have a fucking day job. No, but he's like, he predicted Hill, Kaikar France, and something. And I was like, by the way, didn't bet on any of those. Just said a prediction. I mean, dude, you want to look at my Tapology picks? They're not good either. Like, I just go with what I like. I'm throwing a fucking shot in the wall going, if it hits, I'll sound like a genius. If it doesn't, fuck it. I didn't lose any money on it. Anyways, KKF, I got to say, not to take anything away from Pantoja, because I do think Pantoja looked fucking great. KKF kind of looked bad. And like I was talking to BC about this, and he was like, dude, I don't think KKF is that good. And I was like, nah, dude, he arguably beat Amir Albazi. I brought up the Askar Askarov fight because if anyone remembers that fight going in, KKF was a big dog. Askar Askarov, great wrestler. KKF was stuffing them shits like crazy. So I was like, dude, Pantoja ain't going to be able to get him down. And now it's KKF on the feet for 5 rounds with a chance to just land one big shot. Like, I could see this happening. So given that Pantoja did take him down a few times, let's look at these stats too while we got a sec. Pantoja took him down 3 times, attempted 2 sub attempts. Here, I could actually bring this up here. Let's do that. He landed 42 of 76 significant strikes. I mean, all right, so their significant strikes pretty much dead even as far as whatever. But 3 of 6 on the takedown. So he stuffed 50%. But dude, it was just the way he got him down. He controlled him for 7 minutes. I mean, that's not that good. Like, I feel like KKF was pretty disappointing in that sense. But again, Pantoja, dude, I would favorite like Josh Van Pantoja. As good as fucking Josh Van. Look, we'll get into that next. I can't doubt Pantoja anymore against a good striker, which is what I thought I was just kind of doing there. Like, Josh Van, you're going to get taken down. You're going to get your back controlled, and you're probably going to get subbed. Or will Josh Van be the one to fucking do what I thought KKF could this time? I don't know. But flyweight's kind of bleak, dude. I put out a poll yesterday, like, who do you guys think should be next? I mean, Josh Van is the clear guy to be next, but otherwise, like, you got Manel Kopp lingering there. You got fucking Amir Albazi fighting Tatsuro Taira like a month from today, actually. Like, winner of that, sure, but it's like Albazi just lost to Moreno and Taira just lost to Royval. Like, it's not exactly like, ooh, they need the title shot against Pantoja, who beat both of those guys twice. You know, yeah, I don't know. Flyweight, I guess, has never really been that great, but we get it. Is Rafe going to be in studio when he hosts Morning Combat? I don't believe so, but trust me, I suggest, like, we were all like, Rafe? I've been saying for months, maybe even years now, that I need BC and Rafe to do an inside the box in McSorley's. And I would like do it for them for free. The thing is, I need Tristan, if you're listening. I need like Tristan or Jake Von Amsterdam, if you're listening. I need a camera guy. But I've straight up been like, yo, I'll do that shit. Because that would be a lot of fun. Also, I love McSorley's. If you guys have never been to McSorley's, it's a staple in New York City, and it is so fucking good. There's only 2 beers on the menu, a light ale and a dark ale. And they literally just go light or dark, and you go like dark, get the dark, by the way. And they'll just bring you two mugs. Way too much foam in each one, so it's really just like one beer. But, you know, you get the illusion you're getting 2 beers at a time, and you're like, yeah, cash only. Still cheap as shit, especially for New York City. You get like a cheeseburger there for like $8, which is fucking unheard of in Manhattan. The beers also, I think, are $8. But again, you're getting 2 pint glasses, so it's kind of like $4 a beer, which, again, in New York, unheard of. Certain random words YouTube like prevents the message from going through. Interesting. It's a dope start time for East Asia. We finally get a good start time. All right. Pantoja is ridiculous, just runs into chaos with no care in the world and has maybe the best ground game in the UFC. For real, dude. He's fucking so good. And if you remember that season of Tough, he was the #1 seed. And he was fucking, like, his jiu-jitsu was just phenomenal. Josh Van Moneyline, Pantoja sub, and Ilya KO made me $1,000 richer. Let's go. That's dope, dude. That's fucking huge. What was Pantoja sub? Was that plus money? You go with what makes sense. Pantoja does get hit, and he's getting up there in age. Logic dictates that someone is eventually going to crack the cannibal's chin. KKF just couldn't do it, though. I know. I really thought he'd be the guy. Whereas, like, so KKF, again, I'm not going to discredit his takedown defense, but I feel like going into this fight, I was like, bro, he's got really good takedown defense. I don't feel that way about Josh Van. But I'm like running my brain right now. Like, has Josh Van really been shot on? We could check the numbers, but I don't know. I could watch Moreno versus Pantoja fight every weekend. Yeah, dude. Sorry, I'm late. What up, motherfuckers? What we talking about? We're just talking about UFC 317 and whatever else. If you guys want to fire away random questions, feel free. I'll star them and shit so that we can I'll get to them at the end. But I just wanted to run through this card and shit. So Royval versus Van, dude. People are saying fight of the year. Truth be told, did only watch that 3rd round that I mentioned earlier. Didn't even go back to watch rounds 1 and 2. Maybe I should if people are saying fight of the year. But I knew it was 1-1, and we obviously saw round 3. But, dude, Royval, I mean, okay. Not to be like, can we get fucking right back into the stats? But can we get right back into the stats? Bro, this man set the record for most significant strikes attempted in, I believe, in any UFC fight, and that includes 5-rounders, if I'm not mistaken. 467 fucking significant strikes. That is crazy. Attempted. And look, he outstruck Josh Van by 11 strikes, but, you know, Josh Van did get that knockdown. 0 takedowns attempted for either guy, which, like, kind of pissed me off when I heard that. Again, I wasn't watching the fight that closely. Well, I watched the 3rd round, but I didn't know what happened in rounds 1 and 2. And going into this fight, I'm like, yo, Royval, mix it up. he could take him down. He's, whatever. He could do this. And I'm like, why the fuck did you stand and bang with Josh Van? It just feels like, the fuck are we doing here? But anyway, so Josh Van probably going to get the next title shot. But again, I kind of think it goes exactly what we just saw with Pantoja KKF. In fact, Pantoja sub round 3, early prediction there. All right. Moving down the card, Moicano Dariush. I mean, dude, I'm pretty bummed that the first 2 fights on this main card, Peyton Talbott, Beneil Dariush, you could have just cashed 2 dogs right there and been on your way with your night. I mean, I was so baffled by this Moicano Dariush line, because if you guys remember the first time they were booked, UFC 311, Moicano was like minus 175, Dariush coming back like plus 145, some shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Moicano, coming off that BSD win, Moicano should fucking run through Beneil. And you'd think Beneil's old because he's got the gray hair. Meanwhile, they're the same fucking age. But whatever. I'm like, yeah, Moicano's got this. Then this time around they fight and it's a pick'em, and I'm like, what's that about? But I was like glad to take Moicano. I got Moicano at minus 120 or some shit, or minus 115, thinking like, hell yeah. Meanwhile, he's like a dog by the time fight night comes. But bro, truth be told, I watched the first round of that fight and I was like, yeah, fuck this. I know Dariush wins and it's pissing me off because Moicano, I think, won round 1, and it was just like nothing from then on. I do think that like Moicano's win against BSD really put a weird like thought in my head, where I think I had BSD like way up there, where when Moicano beats him, I'm like, holy shit, dude, Moicano is way better than I thought he'd be BSD. And then you like now look at BSD from a different lens and you're like, okay, BSD lost to Moicano. He got finished. Then he just fought that Kyle Prepelec or whatever on short notice and like didn't even look that good. He got the finish, but like he didn't even look that good in it. And it's like, fuck, dude, does BSD just like kind of suck? Because BSD got into the rankings by knocking out Frivola, I believe. He might have already been in there. I believe that's what propelled him in. And then it's like, I don't know. It's just fucking crazy to think about that. I'm like, damn, one good performance makes you think so highly of a guy, but in reality, you should have been thinking more lowly of the other guy. I don't know. It's just fucking weird. And it sucks. Where were we? Puck said, what's good, Luke? Appreciate the stream getting me through work. Thank you, Puck. Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. I seem to recall Van handling the grappling of Saruya pretty well. Ray Saruya. Okay, that's actually a great call. I forgot they fought. And yo, that was also like a pick'em, wasn't it? That was like close odds for that fight too. Bro, Izzy said KKF was going to win every scramble and wouldn't get subbed. It was an all-time shitty performance. That's bad. Izzy was thinking like I was thinking, I guess. Personal opinion, Van versus Royval is a top 10 most entertaining UFC bout ever. Wow. Damn, maybe I do got to go watch the first 2 rounds. First fight ever where both fighters landed 200 plus significant strikes. That is crazy. I like Moreno versus Pantoja 2, slightly better, lazy. Moicano shit the bed, to be honest. Dariush just followed a game plan better. Figgy Moreno 1 and 3 were awesome too. Best place to go camping in New York. We just went up in like the Catskills, but there's cool areas. If you go even more north, like Lake George and shit is always cool. I would say anywhere in like directly north area, you know. Gucci Caso Tristan said, you're a god living amongst men, Luke. Thank you, Tristan. Do you have any bets on? Did you have any bets on 317? Yes, Lito. Yes, I did. Not only did I mentioned earlier, I did so good on the prelims and then just shit the bet on the main card. Okay. So first of all, McVee versus Ewert or whatever, that was that fight. It was supposed to be the curtain jerker. I don't know when they canceled it, but because I went away Friday morning, I had no service from like Friday morning on. So I put my bets in obviously ahead of time. I had 2 different parlays with that in it. So obviously that became a void. So like I had the over 1.5 in that, parlayed with the over 1.5 in Jonathan Diniz, Allen Hines. And that was plus 281, but it was voided on the first leg. So I don't actually know what it paid out. I'd have to look on my app, but I'm looking on my spreadsheet right now. Nico Price, Jacoby Smith. I had the over 1.5 parlayed with Terrence McKinney by sub or Slava Claus by KO. That was plus 397. So that was nice. Tracy Cortez by decision. I had parlayed with fight end by KO in Hyder Amil, Jose Delgado. That was plus 228. So I'm like literally like hit 3 parlays through the first 6 fights. And I'm like, let's fucking go. Then, I fucking Hermansson Rodrigues. I blew. I had over 2.5 and I had Hermansson with the spread. So that was dead. Oh, I had over 2.5 in Dariush Moicano parlayed with over 2.5 in Royval. Then that was plus 174. And that was it. The rest was a fucking wash. I mean, you guys already know the main card minute bets. They all fucking sucked. Over 1.5 in the co-main was the only one that fucking hit. But again, it didn't hit because we fucking didn't hit it in the main event. But, you know, big W doing this, Luke. Kind of got Deb stuck when I woke up. So I just tuned in and left my ass off. Hell yeah. What's the biggest trouble your cannabis usage has gotten you into? Personally, I accidentally left a bag in my cousin's house. Problem is her husband's a cop and weed was still illegal then. I mean, in the last like 5 years, I can't even think of anything bad per se. You know, I got stories from like being a teenager and shit. Let me think of what I can actually say on air and what's actually a good story. I don't know if I have a good one that I can actually say on air. Shit, man. I don't know. I'll put it this way. I have no shame in like, Gap sent me a video recently of Wiz Khalifa and it's like a 5-second video. And he's like, damn, sometimes I forget that I be smelling like weed all the time. And like his friend's like, really? We smell like weed? He's like, yeah, dude, we really smell like weed. And I was like, oh, dude, that's like me. That's me and Gaff, obviously. But I was like, yo, that's like me every day. I feel like I just like rip bongs and then like go to the store and like people are looking at me weird. And I'm like, what's going on? And I don't even think, I don't know. But no real trouble. Weed is tight. Weed is tight. You know? Don't leave us again, Luke. We have no lives. I mean, you and me both. No. I mean, I do have a life, and that's the hard part, but I really do enjoy being on here. So, you know. Royval doesn't come off as the smartest dude. I mean, bro, you got a raw dog life sometimes, all right? And that means just throwing caution to the wind, breaking the significant strikes attempted record, and, you know, losing a close decision. Bro, yeah, come here like Hurley, Woodstock, and any West North. We call this part of New York literally just Campground Central, Woodstock. Hell yeah. All right, so you're up by Woodstock. So all right, yeah, I just said I was in like the Catskills. Smoking when I lived in Texas always felt like a gamble. I will say in like pre-COVID, but just before COVID, I went camping in Virginia Beach, and I always felt weird smoking weed there, but only because the people I was with weren't big into it, and they were like, it's illegal here. You know, they were like sketching me out. And then like, you know, you're next to like military bases and fucking like, I don't know, there's cops everywhere. And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm not trying to get arrested and smoking some weed. Thoughts on Holland versus D-Rod for UFC 318 being added? You think Holland will eclipse 5 fights this year? This will be 4, I believe. Really? If this is 4, then fuck yeah, he'll eclipse it. Dude, that fight is so fucking nothing for me. And as soon as they announced it, I was like, didn't these motherfuckers already fight? No, they were supposed to fight. That was that whole Hamzat, Nate Diaz card that they had to flip-flop like 3 different matchups, and this being one of them. I'm going to favor Kevin Holland, I think, because D-Rod's like 39, top of my head. He's up there. And like D-Rod, I don't think really has a ground game, whereas Holland pretty well-rounded. Dude, 318 is pretty. We'll get into that card too, but 318 is pretty bad. I'm just gonna say. Smoking some Empire Eclair right now. Let's go. Yeah, I'm in the Poughkeepsie area. Oh shit. Same shit with South Carolina. Oh, as far as smoking weed and shit. Yeah. All right. Rest of this card. Talbott Lima. Okay. Talbott Lima, call me crazy. First question I asked Luke and Brian when I saw them was there an argument that Felipe Lima won that fight? Does anyone in the chat think Felipe Lima won that fight? Because I had a bet on him, but I was like, yo, I could give him the first 2 rounds. Took him down like twice in each round, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, again, let me go back to the stats now. No, he took him down 3 times total. And it looks like he took him down once in each round. That's why. Come on. That's enough to win, man. Once in each round. He did not outstrike him in the first, did not outstrike him in this. All right, he got outstruck in all 3 rounds. All right. I mean, fuck, man. I just felt like there was a world. One judge couldn't have given that to Felipe Lima. I don't know. Anyone? Bueller? Is the next pay-per-view the worst of the year? I think so. I really think so. Talbot was pretty dominant watching live. Lima did not win that fight. It was clear, LOL. I had Lima wasn't mad at the decision. Felipe Lima did not win that fight, but I'm a Frank Ocean fanboy too. If I remember correctly, Lima got the takedown and knockdowns, but I also bet on him, LOL. That's what I'm saying. I had 29-28 Talbot. All right. So I'm crazy. All right. Once again, my betting blinders got in the way. All right. So now we'll talk about Hobocock. Fucking Gregory Rodrigues and Jack Hermansson. So, already admitted earlier on this stream that I kind of just fast forwarded to the last minute of the round to see the finish because BC told me, well, when I was watching Joshua Van Brandon Royval, Anik said, we saw a vicious knockout earlier tonight. Just want you to know Jack Hermansson is okay. So I then went, oh, fuck. Note that. I got to go back and watch that because that's probably a vicious knockout. I got to see what happened. Then I brought it up to BC, hadn't actually seen it yet. This is like a couple hours before MK, and he's like, dude, watch that shit. It was fucked up. So then I went back and watched it. So much, dude, take it from the fucking Aussie legend, Mark Hunt. It's so much cooler to just walk off. You knock a man out cold, you fucking turn your back and walk away. Like, yeah, that was easy. I always fucking do that. You don't fucking then walk him down and hammer fist him again. If he was talking all the shit, I'd be like, for sure, dude, deserved it. You think Jack Hermansson was talking shit to Hobocop? Hell no. So that was fucked up. And I know people want to be like, oh, it's Herb Dean's fault. Herb should have got in there. But it's like, the man is out cold, clearly. I like, it was slow enough that like you had time to like be like, oh, he's still out. Like, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Like all that time, I'm like, bro, he's out. He's out. He's out. It's not like I hit like Ilya Charles was way more one of those like hit him with the follow-up shots because the way Charles fell was almost like, is he like, in hindsight, he was out cold and he fucking folded over himself, but it almost looked like he was fucking like just, I don't know, like flopping over and gonna like pull guard or something. So I feel like those were, I don't know, this was fucking wild, dude. Also, full disclosure, I mentioned it already. I had Jack Hermansson with the spread. I was like, yo, I think I like Jack in this fight. Might have been recency since Hobocop just lost to fucking Cannoneer, but like Hobo the Hendo Cop. So true. That's Herb Dean's fault. Derek Lewis. Yeah, that hammer shot looked personal, right? Like, what did Jack Hermansson do to you? Hobocop said he finally learned to not get the to not try to get the knockout. And then he gets that. I would like to retract my prior statement about Rufy Chandler. Sources just spoke with Rufy's manager. Not true. Okay. All seriousness, though, hope Jack is okay. Dude seems like a genuinely nice fellow. That's what I'm saying. And, I'm not saying Jack Hermansson should retire, but, like, it's pretty brutal finish. He's, like, 37 years old. Wouldn't blame him. Wouldn't blame him. Next fight of the night, we had Hyder Amil taking on Jose Delgado. So, dude, full disclosure, had Hyder Amil. I was like, he might be my dog of the week. Why is this guy plus money? He's undefeated. He's looked pretty good. Jose Delgado just gets first round knockouts. So you're kind of like, oh, dude, I don't know if I could trust this guy. What if this fight goes to round 2? I think Hyder Amil can just lean on him and fucking cruise to a decision here. And then you see the fight, and Jose Delgado just lands that beautiful knee up the middle. But it's like, fuck, I still feel the same now about Jose Delgado going into his next fight, where like, I still don't know anything about the guy. Are you good, or are you just catching people early? And it's kind of like Malcolm Wellmaker, to be honest, where like he's got a lot of hype right now. I will not be shocked if he loses, like, once they step it up in competition, or he fights a grappler or some shit. Like, granted, he to me looks a lot more impressive than Jose Delgado, but I'm not, again, Jose Delgado has been fucking fun to watch. I'm not knocking the guy. I still don't necessarily trust him yet. It's hard to get. I don't know. I got to see more of him. Hermansson hasn't had a win streak since 2019. We can't hold him responsible for being a bad person, but I can judge him on his character decisions. I think he knew he was out. Was it bad in the letter of the law? No, but he knew he was out. Yeah, I agree with that. Wheels up. Great to hear your thoughts on 317. It felt like a much needed injection of life into what has become a lifeless and stale product from the UFC. Dude, so that's what like everyone's been saying. And even it made my FOMO like exceed ridiculously, where everyone's like, was that the best guy? Is the UFC back? And I'm like, I missed this whole fucking card, guys. Chill. But yeah, maybe it is what it needed, dude. Personally, like, I think the story of this card is more about Ilya's stardom than it is about the product. I could be wrong. You guys watched it live. You guys saw what happened. But I think we're like, man, maybe it's because I personally don't always, I didn't even give a thumbs up. Maybe it's because I don't always personally buy into the UFC is dying kind of thing. Maybe that's why I feel that way. But I think if you're someone who has felt that way, that it's stale and it's whatever, then yeah, definitely this is what they needed. Jack's not really active personally. I think he should have 1 or 2 more fights and retire after a fight somewhere in the EU. Yeah. I still got stock in Hyder, but it was a beautifully timed knee and he got caught. This is what I mean. I like Hyder, and I still don't know enough about Jose. I say fight to kill and don't stop until you're pulled off. Seen it too many times where a guy gets put down, you go to walk off, and the ref don't call it. Right, like Jalen Turner, Renato Moicano. But it's like, that was way more of a, he's not out. Like, this was, he's out, and you had the 1, 2, 3, a solid 3 or 4 seconds before the hammer fist to be looking at him going, oh, he's still out. Oh, he's still out. Oh, he's still out. Oh, he's still out. And I'll do that, like, but like Wheels Up said, moral wise, like from Hobocop's point, like, you're kind of an asshole, but like technically he didn't break any rules. He didn't do anything wrong. It's just like, I don't know. I thought June was a good month for fights. You can't trust Hokey Pokey Herb. Random Luke stream, let's fucking go. Yeah, Manij. I mean, I missed last week's card. There's no card this week. I just wanted to, personally, honestly, I just wanted to do it for like the YouTube algorithm. I'm like, I can't go like 2 weeks with no video. YouTube's gonna be like, yeah, send it to the back of the line. So, just also I got to catch up with my peeps, give my thoughts on the card, so that way we don't waste the next live stream going over this card. Walking in, I only cared about 3 fights, but I walked out having enjoyed more than that. So it was a card breaking the norm in a sense. Yeah. It was like for IFW, I wasn't like, oh, dude, this is a sick card. Like the main card was really good, but prelims were kind of fucking whack on paper. We moved down to the prelims that were whack on paper. Tracy Cortez, Vivian Araujo, whatever the fuck. I didn't watch this fight. I'm not going to lie, guys. Do you want me to? I read Tracy Cortez unanimous decision 30-27. I said, yeah, that's exactly what I thought, because I already mentioned I had the bet with her by decision. Yeah, I don't need to see this. Araujo is going to be 39 later this year. She's lost 4 of her last 6. Could arguably get cut after this. I mean, I think they really just wanted to give Tracy a bounce back, and there you go. Now you can fucking give her another good, actual top 10 opponent. Maniche said, I couldn't watch the fights live, but that Ilya KO was nasty. It was nasty, Maniche, but we were saying, like, it also wasn't that crazy, Like, in the sense that, like, we all saw it coming. We just didn't know it happened that early. We didn't know it would be that vicious, maybe, but, like, Ilya by KO was the obvious outcome. Terrence McKinney, dude. I got to give Terrence McKinney his fucking flowers. Terrence McKinney, I want to just say, I've always, for the last, I don't know, since like 2017, I want to say, I think he came into the UFC. Not Terrence McKinney. It's the other person I'm going to mention. Justin Gaethje. Since Justin Gaethje came into the UFC, I feel like I've been telling all my friends, casual, diehards, whatever, just anyone who will listen. I'm like, yo, you want to see like the best fucking fight? Watch this guy fight. Or like, you don't like the UFC? Yo, watch this. I guarantee you'll like this fight. Like, oh, it's boring. This one won't be boring. Justin Gaethje has been my go-to guy for that for literally like 8 years now. Terrence McKinney, I think, is fucking like, if Justin Gaethje retires tomorrow, which apparently he's gonna if he doesn't get this title shot, which he won't. Terrence McKinney is arguably the most exciting fighter in the fucking UFC. The dude has hit over 1.5 rounds one time in like 30 pro fights. I'm exaggerating the number. It's 20 something, but just the most fun to watch. Has never gone the distance, win or lose. The fucking man. This fight immediately starts. He gets the guillotine. He's holding it for fucking like 30 seconds before Slava finally taps. Hindsight, again, kind of obvious. Slava wasn't good on the ground. Terrence McKinney gets knocked out. That's why I did that Terrence McKinney by sub or Slava by KO bet, because it was like, all right, one of these guys is going to have their way with the other. I don't think Terrence McKinney's ever going to be top 5. I do think he could crack the rankings one day, just with the right matchmaking. But damn, dude, I'm going to tune in every time this guy fucking watch. I don't care who he's fighting. He is so much fun. Like, literally. And this fight might not have been like, oh, dude, this, like, getting a guillotine in under a minute is like, it's impressive no matter what. I'm not saying like this wasn't even the best example of how fun he is. You know what I mean? And he's still fucking fun. Tracy looked good. I don't know how the fight was, though. Well, this part was Tracy was revealing they found tumors in her abdomen in the months after the Rose fight. I saw that on Ariel yesterday. It's crazy. There were many things about this card that made it special. First, the female fight was so much fun. Second, it wasn't a Republican Party convention. Third, UFC got us excited about things to come. The Republican Party convention, for sure. I was actually shocked when Luke or BC told me that. They were like, yeah, and Trump wasn't there. And I was like, he wasn't? Like, I was like, I thought he just goes to all this fucking pay-per-views now. I thought the prelims were stacked with McKinney, Hyder, Jacoby Smith, RoboCop, and in hindsight, Hines. Did Hines look good? That's another fight I didn't watch. Alex said, yo, what's up, gang? / Luke. What up, Alex? Agreed, Melker, LOL. I'll be in the same position as you for 318. No Wi-Fi. Won't be getting FOMO. Half as bad, though. Yeah, dude. I was going to say, of all the pay-per-views to miss, 318 is the one. Definitely not 317. McKinney, Ilya card, to your point, will always promise to make fun out of a casual, for sure. Ilya is another person you got to put up there. In my opinion, if I wanted to get someone excited about MMA, I would show them this card. Great all-around MMA for an entire show. I mean, that's high praise. I don't know what full card I would show someone, but I'm just saying, like, having not seen a fight, if Justin Gaethje's in the title or Terrence McKinney's in the title, you're like, yo, I just trust me, watch this for fucking as long as it lasts. McKinney is the pride of Spokane when he wins. To be fair to Ilya, by the way, I agree it was expected, but he did move up, and it is Charles. I put money on decision, actually, out of respect to Charles. Damn. I mean, I had the over 1.5. I wouldn't have gone decision, but that's I was with you in that, Manich. I thought like it would go a little long. Get or get got. McKinney's always good for a scrap. Santa Claus looked exactly like a rabbit caught in a snare from Watership down. There was a representation of everything MMA, great grappling exchanges, late stoppage, fantastic knockouts. Hines did something no man could do. He made a heavyweight fight fun. Did he actually? I saw that went the distance, and again, I went heavyweight over. Yep, I'm good on that. I honestly think Dana wants Patty versus Gaethje next, but Hunter Campbell or somebody at TKO wants Patty versus Ilya. I want Patty versus Gaethje and Ilya versus Arman. That's the best matchmaking, because that's a winnable fight for Patty. / it's going to be fun as hell. Patty versus Ilya Patty's going to be like a minus 500 favorite. It's just not. It's going to be just like this fight. When he fucking knocks out Patty, we're all going to be like, oh yeah, duh. Alvin Hines is deplorable. Look up his mugshot from when he was arrested for armed robbery and burglary. All right. We don't judge around these parts. All right. Jacoby Smith against Nico Price. I mean, dude, he was a minus like 2,000 favorite. So he was supposed to win a fight again. I just kind of skipped to watch the finish itself. Got the rear naked choke. Nico Price. Dude, I took Nico Price plus 13.5. I think that's what it was. Can I even get that in this? No, I didn't take that. I thought I did. I wanted to take Nico Price plus 13.5 or whatever the fucking highest spread you can get in a 3-round fight. I guess it's 7.5 because it was still like plus 500. And I was like, Nico could squeako around here, but you know, it didn't happen. Jacoby Smith, again, apparently Luke was saying he gassed, but I don't know. This win doesn't really tell me anything. Nico well past his prime. We got to see more of him. Diniz Hines already admitted, didn't watch it. I saw over, said, yeah, I don't need to watch that. Did have the over 1.5 though in a parlay that was ended up being voided. So, you know, just whatever. But overall, guys, fun ass card. Wish I could have been there. Wish I could have been there for it. You know, shit happens. All right. Lazy, it's MMA in 2025. Who doesn't have a rap sheet? LOL. Hines did his time. Got to give people second chances. So did D-Rod. We're talking about D-Rod earlier in the chat. He can be cellmates with Cedric Dumas, Uncle Fester, and the Hood Wolf. I gave Cedric second and third and fourth chances. LOL. I don't have to give people shit. Dude, Cedric Dumas is like, he's not even good. I don't know why they're like, I don't know. Anyways. We'll move on from UFC 317 and take a look at this UFC Nashville card. Truth be told, I have not looked at any lines yet for this, so I wanted to do it in real time with you. Also, let it be noted, the UFC website has a way different main card than SureDog, and SureDog has such a better main card. Listen to SureDog's main card. Derek Lewis, Taliesin Teixeira, obviously the main event. Calvin Kattar, Steve Garcia, the co-main. Wonderboy Thompson, Gabriel Bonfim after that, Chris Curtis, Max Griffin, Kennedy Nzechukwu, Walter Walker, and then Jake Matthews, Chidi Njokuani. Like, that sounds like a great main card. The UFC, though, is like, yo, fuck that. How can we make this main event a little worse sounding? And they pull out this shit. Derek Lewis, Taliesin Teixeira, Wonderboy Bonfim as the co-main. Why? We don't really know. Calvin Kattar, Steve Garcia. Okay, at least it's still on the main. Nate Landwehr, Morgan Charrier. That's going to be a fun fight. That probably deserves to be on there. Vitor Petrino, Austin Lane. Why the fuck would this be on the main card? Why? And then Junior Tafa, Tuco. Why the fuck would this be on the main card? Can you please swap both of these fuckers out for the other two fights I mentioned, which I'm already blanking on? Fucking Chris Curtis, Max Griffin, Jake Matthews, Chidi and Njokuani, like those are way better than these two fucks. I mean, fuck. And I want to like Junior Tafa, but I don't even know if he could beat Tuco. Yeah, this is so I don't know which fights you guys really want to go over, because I don't know if they're going to change this main card, if you know what I mean. But either way, we'll give a general look of the landscape. Derek Lewis, Taliesin Teixeira. Let's take a look. Derek Lewis. Oh shit, plus 210 on Derek Lewis. You're going to give me Derek Lewis at plus money against an unproven heavyweight? I'm intrigued. I got to go through the whole card. I got to wait for the props to drop before I really make my plays. But for now, I'm letting you know. Derek Lewis as a dog, put that in. I hit a Call of Duty parlay on Sunday to save the MMA bets. His last name is appropriate. Wonder Boy is on this card. What the fuck? Is Curtis going to fight or is he getting suspended? He shouldn't be suspended because this is in Nashville. Even if he gets suspended, it would be in the Vegas Athletic Commission. Dumas versus Hines at 205 pounds. Winner gets their record expunged. I've had several friends, either casual or non-MMA fans or non-fans, tell me they want to see Paddy versus Ilya. Yeah, I mean, dude, from it's going to do more money than like all those fights, but like meritocratically, I think that's how you say it. It doesn't make sense to me. Yo, shout out Saul, who's like, yo, I'm a member for 5 months, motherfucker. You see my purple belt, and then gives me the $5 donor. Say, what up, B? Yo, what up, Saul? Saul, tomorrow, 11 a.m. This goes for everyone, by the way. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., 23 hours from now, new merch drop. 8, you heard it, 8 new items being added to the store. Some limited editions, some just available from now on. But either way, 8 items coming tomorrow. Get hyped, Saul. Hope your girlfriend doesn't get mad. You're buying more merch. All right, Wonder Boy Gabriel Bonfim. Now this I'm way more like, Wonder Boy, huge dog, plus 350. It's intriguing. I don't think I'm going to like officially take it. I might like dabble with it on the side, if you know what I mean. Over 2.5 in this fight is also plus money, plus 122 for the over 2.5 in Wonder Boy Bonfim. That's intriguing. Worth mentioning, over 1.5 in the main event, plus 138. Not as intriguing. I'd rather just take Derek Lewis money line than take the over there. Whereas Wonder Boy Bonfim, I don't like either of them money line, and I don't like this over under. I'm gonna have to wait for the actual props to drop to see what's good there. Vitor Petrino is a fucking minus 700 over Austin Lane. This is a fucking awful card. The way they laid it out, it's actually a pretty decent card. Over 1.5 plus 114 in that. This might be one of those cards I do the over half rounds or some shit. This is a fucking bad card. We finally getting a hand lotion restock. No, we are not. Like, I have zero intent to ever bring that back, by the way. If you're serious, I think you're the only one. But let me know. According to Big John, suspensions typically carry across commissions. Usually the suspension will be honored by all the states unless they receive an exemption. Oh, interesting. Nashville will recognize Nevada's suspension, by the way. Okay, but is there any rumor that they're even getting suspended by Nevada? I'm just thinking of that time that like Connor got in the cage and with Mark Goddard and the Bellator fight, but granted, I think that was in somewhere in the UK. I don't know if that matters. Similar to when they moved the fight to LA that time for Jones. I love the idea of Paddy versus Gaethje and hope that Paddy makes easy work of him to help build hype. Counter is, if Ilya destroys Arman, going to be hard to imagine he doesn't destroy Paddy. Yeah, that's true. Also, a Paddy L to Gaethje would ruin it all, LOL, which could totally happen. But again, like, I want to see who the better of those two is to then hype me up for that Ilya fight. I know, like, casuals, like someone just said earlier, their friends who aren't fans are saying they want Paddy versus Ilya. Like, I know that's probably the biggest fight they can make. But that's also, like, from anyone who watches the sport, that's the easiest fight for Ilya. It's just like the worst one to make. I don't know. Imagine if Ilya smoked ganja, got sponsored by Illadelph, and then they made a limited edition Ilyadelph. Oh my God, that's genius. Dude. Holy shit. The Ilyadelph. And it could just have like a Georgian, a Spain, or whatever fucking other countries he represents flag on it or something. Oh, dude, that would be cool. They were only able to do that because of an exemption or some shit. I understand Sean being heavily suspended, but I mentioned yesterday on BTL how Connor, Habib, and Danis all got 6 and 7 months. Habib originally 9 before reduced, so Curtis getting a year would be BS. Nah, bring back the Jerkins. Also, when is cutoff for fan subs? You should be good. it's a Mikey thing. I don't know when he truly stops doing them, but like I would say by a reasonable, like before dinner time tonight, you know, I'm pretty sure he builds the show tonight. And then I basically log on tomorrow morning and have everything there ready to go. So I know he's not doing it in the morning. But also like Luke and Brian, it depends on when they send the rundown. Let me check right now if they have. They have not. So, you know, if they send the rundown in an hour, fan subs might be finalized in, you know, a couple hours, but could be a little long. Either way, get him in. Get him in, Saul. Danny Rubenstein said something about 12 months suspension for Strickland and 5 to 6 months for Curtis. Does he represent them? How did he know that? Okay, that makes more sense, Lazy. Yo, genius, LOL. I agree with you. Patty isn't ready for Ilya, in my opinion. It all depends how they view Patty. I can buy into his submission threat and the youth against Ilya, though, to some degree. Yeah, to some degree. I said this on One More Round pod that the Ilya versus Arman fight is way more interesting to me. Yeah. If they don't think Patty is a true contender, then just cash him out and don't risk the L against Justin. That's true. Yo, shout out Cosmo Kramer for the $2. He said this one is for the High Life Fund, scrap butt. Dude, all right. So we obviously you're referring to on MK. Dude, I love Bud Light. I drink it for you. Manich knows. Anyone who's ever hung out with me knows that's like all I drink. All right. High Life is like one of those things. Like if they don't have it and someone's like, "We got High Life," I'm like, "All right, where I'll take it. I'll do the same. I'll fucking drink any beer, dude. I don't care." But like Bud Light is a UFC sponsor, and MK keeps getting all the same sponsors as the UFC. I keep putting it in our producer's ear. I'm like, yo, I'll take a Bud Light sponsor. I was like, I'll literally gladly just crack Bud Lights at 11 a.m. on MK. We'll do the shotgun of the week or something. I'll shotgun a beer on fucking pregame preview with Bud Lights. Come on. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome. Willing to sacrifice Patty for the growth of the sport. 30 men scrap. But like weed for a minute, nearly lost my cool. Anyone who trashes people who tries and accomplish turning their lives around is a low-level human who probably never faced adversity themselves. Who was trashing someone for turning their lives around? Yingling sponsor, please. I fuck with Yingling. You got to spell it right though. What is it? Y-U-E-N-G or Y-E-U-N-G? I don't know. I tried to come at you like Luke, being like, correct your grammar, and then I couldn't do it. All right, guys, we're going to keep moving down this card. Calvin Kattar, Steve Garcia. Now, this is a line I like. Did get duped into taking Calvin Kattar against Yusuf Zalal last time as a fat dog. He was like plus 300. Now against Steve Garcia, he's plus 110. I like Steve Garcia in this fight. So at minus 130, I think I'm going to take that. Steve Garcia's on like a fucking 4 or 5 fight KO streak. Yeah, I'm feeling good about that. Junior Tafa Tukos is fucking Junior Tafa. You can't trust either of these guys as a favorite. You got to stay away from the money line here. Minus 170 for Tafa, plus 142 for Tokos. That's how you say it, I think. Let's pull it up this way so you guys can see the fight. But bro, fuck that. Can I expand this? Oh, didn't want to do that. There we go. There we go. I love this. Last fight, win. Last fight, loss. Who the fuck did Junior Tafa beat in his last fight? Now I gotta look into this. I don't remember this man winning. By the way, Sherdog has this fight as the curtain jerker. Meanwhile, they have it on the main card. He just beat Sean Sharaf. Probably someone who's never won a fight in the UFC. Yeah, exactly. Someone who's never won a fight in the UFC. So, anyways, this card kind of sucks the way they're laying it out. What was the other? Nate Landwehr and Morgan Charriere. Let's see that one. Nate and Morgan. Nate the Train plus 210. Minus 258 for Charriere. I do think Charriere is one of those fighters that always burns me. I pick him and then he fucking loses, and I pick against him and he wins, but pretty tempted by that Nate line there. Plus 210 on Nate the Train UFC. Shit. And then Jake Matthews, Chitty, and Joe Kawani. They got Jake Matthews plus 105, Chitty minus 125. I like an over in that fight more than I like Jake Matthews. Over 1.5, they got it minus 240. Like, I like that. Might take something like that. Chris Curtis, Max Griffin. Chris Curtis, heavy favorite here, minus 310, plus 230. Plus 250 actually coming back on Max Griffin. Fuck, man, I kind of like that. That's a closer fight than we think. Like, Chris Curtis should be better than Max Griffin, but Max Griffin's like sneaky underrated when he needs to be. Plus 250 is tempting. There's a lot of dogs on this that I'm liking, which means it's going to be a really hard card to bet on. Anytime I'm tempted by too many dogs, I end up putting in I end up taking 2 dogs and then putting in like a 4-leg parlay that'll never hit. And yeah, I don't know. Got to spell it right. Proceeds to spell it wrong. Didn't Tapa crash out when he lost his last fight? Dude, he won his last fight apparently. One of them, can't remember which. Who? Wish I had Nate the Train's hair. Yeah, dude. I mean, this fight is whatever. Or this card, I should say, is whatever. But we can move on. All right. Rest of the summer, guys. Here's what we got coming. Here's what we got cooking. So we got UFC Nashville next week. That is a 9 p.m. main card start. I'm going to try and do the entire card. Truth be told, I got an engagement party to go to that day. I'll definitely be there for the main card. There's a chance I miss a couple of the prelims, but I'll still try, like, time depending, I'll try and do the full card. We'll see what happens with that. Either way, we'll be live. The week after is a fucking doozy. So we're just talking MMA right now. We're not talking boxing, but if you want to talk boxing, these weekends get even more jam-packed. By the way, next week, UFC Nashville begins 10 straight weeks of UFC events. I know we have a week off this week, so enjoy it because we got 10 straight coming after this. But dude, July 19th is that fucking PFL Champion Series card, which, like, of all the PFL cards to watch, this will probably be the one. You got Corey Anderson taking on Dennis Goltsov. You got Artur Zanuka. I don't even know these guys. You got AJ McKee taking on Ahmed Magomedov. You got Dakota Ditcheva in the co-main taking on someone. You got Johnny Eblin in the main event against Costello Van Steenis. And I thought it was going to be super early. I still don't really know. ESPN has a contradicting time than PFL, and I actually trust ESPN more than I trust PFL. But PFL is saying it's a 2:30 p.m. main card, which means we could do the main card of PFL into UFC 318, which starts at 6 p.m., I believe, Eastern for the prelims. We'll obviously do a full card for UFC 318 regardless. Maybe if there's some overlap, we miss a prelim or two, depending on when PFL starts. I thought that PFL card was going to be at like legit 5 a.m., and I was like, fuck that. But now that it's in the afternoon, presumably, I'm a little more open to it. So be on the lookout for PFL. Either way, we're definitely doing 318 on July 19th, full card. July 26th, we're definitely doing a fucking full card. UFC Abu Dhabi, 3 p.m. main card. I believe it's 12 p.m. Prelims. You got fucking Bobby Knuckles taking on Rainer de Ritter, Mavsar Evloev taking on Aaron Pico, Piotr Jan taking on Marcus McGee, Bryce Mitchell taking on Saeed Nurmagomedov, Shara Bullet taking on Marc-Andre Barrio, and Nikita Krylov taking on Bogdan Guskov. That is a fucking banger of a main card. 3 p.m. start. Bro, we'll be done by 6 p.m. I fucking love that. Hyped for that. I'll be looking forward to it. Also, didn't go over the main card for 318. Listen to how bad this main card is. Holloway, Poirier 3. Not knocking it. Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull as the co-main. A good fight. Probably shouldn't be the co-main. You know, I'd take that as the opener on the main. That's a solid opener. Atiba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. Wish I had a fucking cricket sound effect. What the fuck is that? Why is that on the main card? I think it's because they're trying to hype up Atiba. Robert Valentine's 0-2 in the UFC, has not looked good. And you're throwing him on a paper. You just put him on back-to-back Apex cards. Now you're throwing him on a fucking pay-per-view main card? What the fuck is that? Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov. That's a fun fight. Does it have any like stakes? Not really. I think they're both ranked though. They're in the 10 to 15 range. I do think Hobo Cop should fight the winner of that or the loser of that. But yo, Hobo Cop, Paulo Costa, that sounds like a fun fight. And then first fight of the night, Michael Johnson taking on Daniel Zellhuber, which like sounds like something that would co-main an Apex card rather than open a pay-per-view main card. But you know, it is what it is. We move on. August 1st. That is the first of the PFL Finals. So the PFL Finals, let me pull up this screen while I got it here. Give me un moment. Oh, should probably do that. There we go. All right, guys. The women's flyweight final, you got Jenna Bishop taking on Liz Carmouche. The bantamweight final, you got Marceli Alves taking on Justin Wetzel. Shout out Justin Wetzel, by the way, guys. We were all hyped on Mando Gutierrez because Gaff interviewed him that week, the dude right here. And then Justin Wetzel beats him. And then Justin Wetzel goes and comments on our fucking watch along and is like, sorry, Mando's a good dude. Catch y'all in the finals or some shit. So Justin Wetzel confirmed watches main card minute. Just saying. Shout out to the man. So kind of rooting for him there. Featherweight, we got Jesus Pinedo taking on Mavlid Kabuliev. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. We got Alfie Davis taking on Gadzi Rabadanov. I'm not fucking favoring anyone against Gadzi. Heavyweight, we got Alexander Romanov taking on Oleg Popov. Sullivan Cauley taking on Antonio Carlos Jr. Fabian Edwards taking on Dalton Rosta, and Gaff's boy Thad Jean taking on Logan Storley. So there's some fun fights. They are scattered this year across 3 dates. So August 1st is the first. That is when we are getting, obviously it's the first. It's the first final. That is when we are getting Thad Jean versus Logan Storley, and we're getting Jesus Pinedo versus Mavlid Kabuli. What Mavlid? Jesus Pinedo, nice little run to get here. Beats Adam Boric, beats Gabriel Braga again. That was a trilogy. Now he's got to fight Kabuliev, who fucking beat Jeremy Kennedy. He lost that fight, if anyone remembers. You know, very controversial decision there. And then he just beat this guy Kim. So, you know, I'm favoring Jesus Pinedo in that one, gotta say. Thad Jean on a nice run, dude. Beat fucking Berkamov and then just beat Jason Jackson, which, like, what? No one really saw that coming. Logan Storley beat Joseph Luciano and Kikuri. Like, Logan Storley, a good wrestler, though, but also Jason Jackson was a good wrestler, and Thad Jean just beat him. So I might favor Thad in that, actually. And then August 15th for the PF. Oh, by the way, August 1st is a Friday, so probably we'll end up doing all the PFL finals. The 1st is a Friday, the 15th is a Friday, and then August 21st is a Thursday. So I think we'll do all 3 of those. The 15th will be Gadzi Rabadanov versus Alfie Davis, which again, Gadzi took out 2 former UFC vets, Mark DeCasey and Kevin Lee. Yeah, are they the best wins? No, but like he's really fucking good. So whatever. Alfie took out Brent Primus and he took out Clay Collard. So not a bad little run for him either. But again, I'm not favoring anyone over Gadzi right now. Then you got Liz Carmouche, Jenna Bishop. I'm curious what the odds will be here. I know Liz has been on a run, but like, all right, she beat Joanne and she beat Dana or Dana or whatever. Like, okay. Bishop beat Watanabe and she beat Shakalova. I mean, dude, are these the best names? I don't know, but I picked Jenna Bishop last time out. I think she was a dog or it was a pick'em. I might pick her again against Liz, depending on the odds. Liz is like 40 years old, so just saying, there's a world. Also that night is Marceli Alves against our boy Justin Wetzel. Truth be told, don't know much about either of these guys, but I'm going to be rooting for Justin Wetzel. He took out Kasumov and he took out Mando on his way up. Alves, on the other hand, took out Who do you take out? Leandro Higo and Jake Hadley. Those are actually two really good wins. So Justin might have his hands full that night. We'll see what happens. And then the 21st, we got Fabian Edwards, Dalton Rosta. Fabian just took out Impa and he took out Josh Silveira. Two solid wins. Dalton, on the other hand, though, took out Sadabusi and Aaron Jeffrey. Also solid wins. That one should actually be really interesting. I'm excited for that. Sullivan Cauley taking on Antonio Carlos Jr. also that night. Sullivan Cauley did just take out Phil Davis. Before that, Alex Polizzi. I mean, I guess the Phil Davis win is good. Shoeface took out Carl Moore and he took out Simeon Powell. So I don't know. It is what it is. The Carl Moore fight was a little sketchy though, wasn't it? Didn't he like eye poke him or something? Something fluky happened in that. They didn't call a foul or something. It was weird. And then Alexander Romanov taking on Oleg Popov. I believe this semifinal was a no contest. I don't know how they decided Romanov gets in there, but he did beat Tim Johnson before that. Popov, on the other hand, beat Rodrigo Nascimento and Linton Vassell. So those are actually two solid wins as well. But yeah, PFL gonna PFL, guys. I don't know if anyone even cares, but you know, we'll see. Where do I leave off? Okay, this card isn't as bad as first thought. Glad you went through it. Whip Nate the Train's ass and see what happens. Carlos Leal KOing Salikov will be my highlight of the summer, apart from DDP TKOing Hamzat. Yeah, I hope you're right. July 19th boxing is better than the MMA, especially if BC is on the call. That's the other thing. July 19th is Pacquiao Barrios, but that's going to overlap with the pay-per-view. So we'll have to dual screen it for that, but we're not going to like truly pay attention to the boxing if I'm being honest. But there's also July 26th, I think, is Usyk Dubois too, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot coming up. And Bam Rodriguez, I think, fights either on the 19th as well, or maybe on the 26th. BC was just going through it with me yesterday. It's actually fucked up and nonsensical how stacked the Saudi card is compared to the other fight nights. I know. Saudis get what they pay for. Seeing Kevin Lee and Michael Johnson get their retirement KOs is making 2025 a very special year. How might have stepping back from the UFC watch along offer a new appreciation for the action? Do you think it's prevented burnout, allowing you to better appreciate the Paddy Ilya legacy more? I don't think it offers much of appreciation. I think if anything, if I'm not doing the watch along, there's a reason I'm not doing the watch along, and it's probably because I got other things to do. And if I got other things to do, I'm not watching the product at all. So it's like, it's definitely not giving me a new appreciation. If anything, it's like, fuck, dude, I don't even care about that when it's not on. You know, like it's like, I mean, that's not true. Obviously, I care about it, but it's like I want to be watching. I want to be doing it. As far as burnout, dude, I don't get burnout from the watch alongs whatsoever because, like, again, I'm gonna be sitting there watching the fights anyway, so I might as well just be live talking to you. Like, it makes no difference. But making the bet breakdowns can get fucking burnout, you know? Like, it's nice to take this week off to be like, all right, good. I don't have to do any research. But now I'm already thinking like, okay, it's Wednesday. I'm pretty busy this weekend. I probably should start doing research now for Nashville so that I can put out the breakdown on Monday, you know, like, so shit like that gets tiring. But watch along shit is always fun. I got no complaints with that. Jesus, this is the final. Jesus, this is the finals of a tournament. Oh, I was thinking you were talking Jesus Pinedo. So MMA not named the UFC is down bad. BC confirmed he's on the Pac-Man card. I did see that. Yes. The 145 tournament final is awesome. And Alan W says tits. Thank you, Alan. All right, guys. So we got all those PFL finals out of the way. The next card for the UFC will be August 2nd. First card in August. 6 p.m. main card start. Amir Albazi, Tatsuro Taira. I was saying this one really does nothing for the division. Like, winner of this probably gets the next title shot after Van and fucking Pantoja, assuming Pantoja wins. Obviously, if Van wins, you got the Moreno back in it. You could do the Royval rematch. You know, like all these names that Pantoja has beat suddenly become available. Manel Kopp obviously still lingering, but like, I would argue winner of this gets the next title shot after the Van Pantoja fight. Maybe Manel Cop gets it. We'll have to see. But we got back-to-back Apex cards after that. August 9th, UFC Vegas 109. That is a 9 p.m. main card start. Roman Delidze taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Let me check the odds of both of these. Fuck, of course they don't have it. Oh, no, they do. Oh, no, they have it clickable, but then it's not there. All right, so we don't have the odds on it. I'm going to assume Amir Albazi's the favorite against Tetsuro Taira, but I could be tempted to take Taira depending on the odds. Delidze Fluffy, I'm going to take Fluffy. He's probably going to be a favorite. Nothing crazy, minus 175-ish, I'm thinking. We'll see. Contender Series, guys, starts August 12th. It's probably going to run for 10 weeks. That's what it usually does. They did confirm the first 5 weeks, so it's August 12th on the next 5 weeks after that. As of right now, no conflicts on Tuesdays, so you can bet your ass me and Gaff will be here Tuesdays. Watch and bet along for those. August 16th, probably the most, maybe the Abu Dhabi card is actually the most hyped now. But after the Abu Dhabi card, this has to be the next most hyped card. UFC 319, DDP, Hamzat. The rumor is Patty Gaethje as the co-main. It's unofficial, but DDP did leak a video saying that, so we'll see. Pretty hyped for that shit. We'll do a full card watch along. You already know. The next week is that Shanghai card, 7 a.m. main card start. So probably not going to do the prelims. We'll see who's on them. They usually stack them with local talent and a lot of road to UFC people. And like, I'm not waking up at fucking 3 a.m. for that. But I will wake up at 7 a.m. for, Johnny Walker, Ming Yang Zhang, Aljamain Sterling, Brian Ortega, That'll be a fun one. I do like those early cards. That's a little early, but either way. The week after that, also an early card, UFC Paris, 3 p.m. main card start. So probably 12 p.m. prelims. That is Nasruddin Imavov taking on Caio Borralho. So that one should be fun. Early pick. Fuck, man, that's a good one because Imavov, I always bet against Imavov and he always wins. So naturally, I'm going to take Borralho, but fuck, man, that's a fun one. I got to see the odds on that. I feel like Nasruddin might be like a slight dog. And then Noche UFC, which is fucking September 13th. Won't be a pay-per-view, but it's in Texas, so it'll be a 10 p.m. main card start. Diego Lopez, John Silva, GN, whatever the fuck his name is. That's going to be fucking dope. I'm looking really forward to that. Also, John Silva, if he wins that, you got like the Josh Van Royval thing there where you're just leapfrog because John Silva's 11th right now. Diego, I think, is number 1. So you're going to go from 11 to 1. Look out, Volk. Forget the fucking winner of Pico Evloev. I feel like John Silva is going to get the next title shot, but we'll see. Still plenty of time for that to all play out. But yeah, it's pretty much all I had written down as far as plan shit, guys. Take a quick look at the poll here. It looks like, dude, this is hilarious. So 46 people voted it in the poll. What's your favorite card in July? Granted, like, I don't expect any of you to pick UFC Nashville, but the fact that it got 0 votes makes it fucking hilarious. So we got 0 on UFC Nashville. 9% say the PFL Champion Series. That's the one with Dakota and Johnny Eblin. 39% say UFC 318 and 52% say UFC Abu Dhabi. By the way, I don't think Kim Bong-il is in here, but I know he's the one who always makes those memes. This is going to be, I guarantee we're going to get into this argument again, like we did for UFC Saudi Arabia and UFC 312 between UFC 318 and UFC Abu Dhabi, where Abu Dhabi is clearly the better card, but we'll see. Some people may argue 318 is better. Did you see John Anik got the Canelo Crawford card? I did. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm like, on one hand, it makes perfect sense because it's under the TKO umbrella, but on the other hand, it's like Anik doing boxing. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Granted, like, I know I'm not like, oh, I need Lampley. Ooh, I need Kellerman. Ooh, I need whoever. Like, I don't really care who's on the call, so maybe it'll be a good thing. But then I'm also like, oh, well, if he's on that call, that's September 13th as well, right? So then it's yeah, but it's a fight night. I was thinking like, yo, if Anik starts doing like boxing pay-per-views and they're like overlapping with UFC pay-per-views, are we going to get Fitzy on pay-per-view call? Because that'll be cool. It's going to be sick seeing Anik call boxing again. Oh, did he used to do boxing? I didn't even know that. Chris Ewart is back on Contender Series. I saw that. So what happened with him though? Like why did that fight get canceled? He couldn't make weight. He got injured. I don't know what happened there. Just because I was off the grid and I didn't bother to go back to look. If it's Justin Wetzel, he's one of Corey Sandhagen's training partners and plays the Lorax in Corey's vlog series. If you haven't watched them, they are great. Dude, I did not know that, Tracy. So first of all, Corey's vlogs are fucking hilarious. Have seen just like random clips of them. I've never like gone on the YouTube and clicked on them, but I've got like just scrolling Instagram, whatever. I'm always laughing at them. But that's funny. I didn't know he was in their videos. I got to go check them out now. I'll be up the night before Shanghai for Road to UFC Finals. Lazy, is that the card with that they now have 2 UFC bouts on? Because that shit's crazy. They're putting fucking regular UFC bouts on Road to UFC cards. So now it's like you have to tune in to these cards to like see what's happening with the fights. And then it's also like, but the rest of the fights aren't UFC fights, but you're in a UFC fight on this non-UFC card. The whole thing is fucking weird. I don't like it. Patty versus Gaethje gets me more excited than Ilya versus Patty simply because I think it's more competitive. 100%. His name is Lord. I've made a mistake in my vote. The Saudi card is better. Isn't it Anik and Kellerman? I think so. Anik cut his teeth unboxing at ESPN Radio. He's going to crush it. Shit. Gauthier versus Valentine is on the main card of a pay-per-view. Enough said. UFC Saudi is better. I don't, dude. Like, what is that? What world are they like, this is it? Atiba Gauthier, get him on. Are either of them like from fucking wherever this is, New Orleans? Atiba's Cameroonian. Does he train over here? Where does he train? They have not available where he trains. Robert Valentine, I believe, is like what, Swiss or something. Yeah, Swiss, and he fights at Fight Move Academy, which is in Switzerland. So, yeah, zero fucking understanding why they're doing that, but yeah. Couldn't cut 30 pounds on 3 days' notice. So then why'd you accept it, you know? That shit's annoying. It is Bruno Brazil versus Shi Ming and another one. Yeah, dude. And the other one is like, isn't it like Ray Saruya or something? It's someone decent where I'm like, wait, what? Let me try and look this up quick. Yeah, bro. Ray Saruya taking on Niam Jargal Temendum Barrel. Yeah, it's something like that. Like, why the fuck is Ray Saruya fighting on Road to UFC? It's bullshit. It's good to see they gave Ewart a second chance, though. There were some people saying he would never get into UFC or Contender Series after that. Yeah, because if they call you on short notice and you go, yeah, I could fill in, and then you fucking don't fill in, it's like, yes, that was your opportunity to get in, but that was also the bridge you just burned. Now they're never going to call you again because you fucking whatever. So he was probably on their radar. Maybe he was going to be, because he was probably on their radar. They tried to get him. He said, I don't know if I can make it, but I'll try, or something like that. Did you see Jed Meshew say he doesn't watch James Lynn's content anymore since a certain incident? Any idea what he's referring to? No. To be fair, I know who James Lynch is, but I've never watched any of his content either. I don't know what the incident is. Also, what's the deal with Kevin Iole? I know Kevin Iole retired, and I feel like everyone is like, there's like is there anything with that? I'm like so oblivious to that. I think so versus Alatin Jelly. Ilya's rise reminds me of John Jones just killing legends after legends. Yeah. Oh, that's it. The other Mongolian. Yeah, the other guy. Trying to cut basically 16 kilos in 3 days is crazy. He was talking about Bryce, I think. Oh, yeah, he did say that. He was talking about, I know on BTL or whatever, I watched this too. He was saying, oh, that's probably, all right, yeah, that, I'm thinking it was probably an interview James Lynch did with Bryce Mitchell. And then Jed said, I don't watch any of his interviews after a certain incident, meaning Bryce Mitchell. That's what I think happened. He wasn't saying that about James Lynch. He was saying he doesn't. Yeah. Little mustache man. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I never went over, the fucking usual shit. But you guys already know. You can follow me on social over there. Main Card Minute. You can follow Gaff on social, who's usually with me over here. Skirt over there. One more round fights. He held it down this weekend. Hope you guys had a good time with him. He said it was a lot of fun. If you guys aren't already in the fucking Tapology League, what are you waiting for? It's a lot of fun. You should get in there. Let me just pull up last week because obviously I was away. I want to see how we did. I did peek at it earlier to know that I didn't win, but we'll see. We'll see how everyone else did. Let me get this up here. So Dejan Rio came in first. Sleeto coming in second. Gun FDX in third. Shout out Danger Mouse fourth. Slim 223 in fifth. Sean Nichols, Steve-O, Jifunk tied in sixth. Gaff came in 12th. I'm just looking for names we know. 24. Me and Jake Von Amsterdam tied in 24th. There you go. Jonah 31st. Who else is in the top 10 that I'm forgetting? Nichols 20th. Man Like Onyx tied in 9th. Yeah, I had a good week last week, guys, because I had a perfect betting week. I mean, those usually line up like that, but not a great week last week. I'll update the standings. I haven't done it yet, obviously, but I'll do that for UFC Nashville, so make sure you tune in for that. If you're not already a member, please become one. It's only 99 cents a month. You get the belt next to your name. You start as a white belt. You get your brown belt. You get your blue belt. You get your brown belt. You get your purple belt. You get your black belt. I went out of order there again with purple and brown. But either way, fucking, you guys know the drill. You get your belts. You eventually get the championship belt if you're here long enough. You gotta stay on to get that. And you get all the custom emojis. I already put the Derek Lewis and the Taliesin Teixeira emoji in there, so make sure you look for those. And if you want some merch, maincarminute.com. I got $15 shirts, $5 koozies, dollar stickers. Please help support me. And you could also buy Morning Combat merch. morningcombat.shop. Once again, tomorrow, 11 a.m. MK, not Friday, tomorrow, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. And we're dropping the merch at 11 a.m. So you could go to the website, you could tune into the stream to see Luke and Brian will be wearing the new shirts. And again, we got 8 new items coming, so should be a good time. Where were we? QA, if LT joined you with Gaff for an upcoming card, which one would offer the most entertainment and technical breakdown? What moments would you craft given his charisma and your good banter? First of all, I don't think I've already said this. I don't think he would do it just for the fact that if he's spending the time to go live, he's just going to do it on his own channel. The only way this would work is if we simulcast, which means I need to essentially run the entire stream and then just send the stream to Luke's YouTube, send it to my YouTube. We could even send it to Gaff's YouTube. We could send it wherever, and then people can watch on whatever. They could watch on Luke's, they could watch on mine, they could watch on Gaff's, they could watch on whoever's. Realistically, I don't think it's happening besides that. Unless we do something like this, where it's not a fight night, we're just doing a card preview, then I think he would hop on. But the question was, which one would offer the most entertainment? I mean, Gaff always offers the most entertainment, so I'd go Gaff with that. Technical breakdown, obviously, I'd go Luke with that. What moments would I craft given his charisma and your good banter? This is hard to think of on the fly, but you're right. I would have to come up with like good Lukeism things, like neither here nor there. Who would you pick in this fight? Yeah, I don't know. It would be fun. The thing people don't realize is like, yeah, Luke shits on me on air a lot and stuff, but like we're just as like jokey and shit as like me and BC are. So like, it would be fun, and it would just be like 3 dudes hanging. But we'll see. We'll see if he's into it. Hey, I sent you another email about the beanie. Let me know if you got it. All right, Sleeto, I got you. John Ray gifting a membership. Let's go, John Ray. Appreciate you, brother. What's the pick accuracy for Tapology top 10 if the pick accuracy for Vegas is 66%? That's a good question. Let's see. Man like Onyx, I know for a fact, is in first place in our league. His pick accuracy, or she's, is 66.5. Okay. And now if I go back, Sean Nichols is in second place in our league. His pick accuracy, 66.7. And Nichols is in third place. Nichols' pick accuracy, 62.2. I want to check mine now. My pick accuracy, 55.6. Yeah, 138 and 110. Let's go, baby. Yeah. I did get Terrence McKinney sub round 1 perfect. That felt pretty good. But I guess it's pretty easy when it's a Terrence McKinney fight. Whatever. It is what it is. The Tapology League's a lot of fun, though. I will say, I wish they just fucking updated the standings themselves and I didn't have to make a spreadsheet and do it every fucking week. But other than that, it's dope. If you're not already in it, get the fuck in it. How do you see DDP Chimaev going? The more I think about it, the more I think DDP wins it in rounds 3 or 4. Let me look at the odds before I even speak. Okay. Oh, my alarm's going off. Plus 150 for DDP. Minus 180 for Hamzat. I'm going to take DDP at those odds. Granted, DDP is cashed as a dog like 3 straight fights for me. Both Strickland fights and the Izzy. No. Sorry. He wasn't a dog in the second Strickland fight, but the first Strickland fight, he was a dog. The Izzy fight, he was a dog. And he cashed in both of them. And obviously cashed against Strickland the second time. Yeah, I think I'm going to just take DDP based on the odds, but like, fuck, man. It's one of those things where if Hamzat runs right through him, we're going to be like, damn, you could have got Hamzat at minus 170. Like, But it's like, oof. Sleeto said, Alex, I'm number 2 last week. My pick accuracy overall 63.23. Thanks. Luke said earlier this week that he'd come on your show during his live stream. Really? He's not invited. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't know that. I think, again, though, if it wasn't during the fights, I think he would. In fact, I know he would. I've seen him do lesser. You know what I mean? No disrespect to anyone. I've seen him do some podcasts where I'm like, Luke, who are you do? Why are you doing this? They need to fully get co-streaming going like Twitch is. So, dude, it's really easy to like, quote unquote, co-stream it out places. It's just then it all falls on the one person, which would be me. Like, Luke can't like do his round timer or like pull up your comments if I'm running one stream for all of us. You know what I mean? That's where I think he'd be like, fuck this. But if like MK, like that's the thing. If MK ever wants to do a watch along, I'm going to ask if we can fucking. And when I say ask, it's like because it might be like, no, you have to do it on the MK YouTube channel. But if they say, yeah, you can fucking. I'm blanking on the word now. What was the word I kept using? I want to say co-stream because you said it. Simulcast. If they say, yeah, you could simulcast it, for sure, I would just run it as an MK show, but put it on Main Card Minute as well. Definitely need DDP at dog odds. People are out there betting on prison time. Diddy will get LOL. Twitch always each person to still control their stream. It's nice. Oh, that's dope. That is dope. But also, like, I'm not moving to Twitch for that. I hope, they come up with it. MK doesn't have super chats turned on, so it'd be better to do it on a different channel. That's true. But the whole thing is, like, not to get too into the weeds, but like, we don't do watch alongs on MK because we all have our personal channels and we make money from doing it personally. If MK was like, hey, we'll give you guys money to do it on MK, we would. So like the super chats don't necessarily matter there because we just like we get paid to do the show, like we'd just be getting paid to do the show kind of thing. But that's also probably the reason we haven't done it, is because we all would rather just be doing watch alongs and getting super, like, personally, I don't want to have to do MK watch along because I like doing this. It'd be fun to hang out with Luke and Brian every Saturday, but also it would probably just be them two on screen and me more behind the scenes. So I like doing it this way, just combines chats and view numbers and stuff. True. Diddy is rich. He ain't going to prison. Yeah, I agree. No reason to change. They'll get there eventually, I'd imagine. What's your favorite watch along you've done on Main Card Minute? Honestly, Baku was a lot of fun. That was the last one we did. BC joined for a couple hours. I had a perfect betting night. We did the funnel. One of the like OGs, when like Tristan joined and Duran gave him like $20 to do a funnel. He literally like Venmo'd Tristan to do a funnel. That was funny. Obviously Gaff's reaction to Max knocking out Justin Gaethje, UFC 300. That was also all four of us on UFC 300. Was it four of us or three of us? No, yeah, it was four of us. It was Tristan, Corey, Gaff, and myself. That was a good one. I mean, dude, they're all fun. I don't have like, to me, it comes down to how did the bets do and like how were the fights. Like my girlfriend would always ask, like, "Oh, how was your stream?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it was good, but like, none of my bets hit." Or like, "Oh, it was great. Everything hit. It was awesome." CJI one was hilarious. I said this before. I regretted every second of that. I thought CJI was going to be like 3 hours long. It was fucking 9 hours. So had I known that, would have never joined in there. What up, degenerates? What up, Rob? Baku 300. Francis Joshua. Francis Joshua was alone for that. I mean, that's my most viewed live stream of all time. So I'll put it up there. But that I wouldn't ever be like, oh, that was one of the best. I'd have to really look back and see like what cards I've fucking have been doing good on. Like like Noche last year was a lot of fun because that was also a perfect betting night. Marab won. Marab also beating Umar in January, UFC 311. That was a lot of fun. Anytime like a big fucking like Marab was plus 270. Like anytime a big dog wins and you called it, those are fucking hype. Like, hell yeah. That was the chillest to me, in my opinion. I probably got the most subscribers off of any stream when I did Francis Joshua because it was literally just me. I watched the co-main and the main. I think I got all my bets wrong on the main too because I had like Ngannou by KO, Joshua by decision, Ngannou to knock him down or something. Like I had like, yeah, it was bad, but all right, guys, I'd love to stay here for another hour and fucking chill, but I gotta honestly be somewhere at 1:00 and it's already 1:45. I'm gonna be running a little late, but it's all right. That was the chillest to me, in my opinion. Was it Lopez Volk? I'm thinking maybe enjoyed a lot too. That was a fun one. I'd have to look back to see how I did on that. That was in April, right? Yeah, I didn't do great on that. Lost half a unit, but probably still had fun. Not gonna lie, watching BC question everything he knew about boxing during the Ngannou versus Fury fight on LT's channel was amazing. That is mad funny. Dude, anytime there's those shocking moments or anything, it's fucking dope. Sleeto says, thanks for the stream, bro. No problem, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna do this all the time or anything, but it was fun. Wanted to just do something, go live, hang with y'all for a little bit. If you haven't already, please like the stream. If you don't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be back. Monday, I'll drop Nashville bet breakdown, 60-second. Tuesday, I'll drop the 10-minute. Saturday, we'll do a full card for Nashville. Again, possibly missing a fight or two, depending on when I get out of this engagement party. I'll keep you all posted, but I'm going to plan for the full card. And then it's onwards and upwards from there. We got a big summer plan. I'm not trying to miss any more streams after fucking missing IFW. Still pissed about it. No, I'm just kidding. But, we'll see. Have a good one, boys. Amanda and Kayla to fight at 145. I don't think there would be an argument, but turn it into a division for the future. What do you think benefit from having a 145 division outside of Amanda and Kayla? I guess you could bring Cyborg back. You could bring Pacheco in. There is no argument to have that division other than to give one of them 2 belts. That's really it. Appreciate everyone again who either became a member. John Ray, who gifted a membership earlier. Cosmo, who gave me the $2 for the High Life Fund. Saul, who was just like, yo, here's $5. What up, B? And Saul also re-ing up his membership, and Lazy re-ing up his membership, or just trying to send me a message that never works. Either way, appreciate all y'all. Once again, you can follow me on social, Main Card Minute. You could become a member. The link is in the description. You could hit join down below. It's only 99 cents a month. You could join the Topology League. Again, link in the description. We'll be back next week. Gaff will be with me here as always. Appreciate y'all. Till next time, I'm out of here. Peace.
Hey yo, who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take rips and cash shifts. So who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take rips and cash shifts. Hey yo, Long Island, streaming live from New York. Strong Island, we get live what you thought. Bank roll too short. Y'all need the stack paper and rob the sports book like a crook full of paper. If you think we ain't hitting, then your chance is slim. It's victory bung wrist with Luke and Gaffney Jim. Got me cashing in, I'm clocking chips on the regular. Fuck the rest of other cappers ain't competitors. Ain't no stress, we just clocking them checks. The best plus money bets in 60 seconds or less. So get yours while the live odds popping. Underdog shopping, big crop stay dropping. Non-stopping till the clock hit nil. But you can still get a deal while the boys make a kill. So you can watch the shills with the same old gimmick. Or flipping out and cop some guap with the Main Card Minute. Who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take risks and cash slips. Who got the picks? High picks that ought to hit with the parlays to get the best money. I'm a bet. Small time or max unit, all the paper you can get. Doing this ain't new to this. We take risks and cash slips.